Hi guys, the MP for Clacton was celebrating Donald Trump's win on Wednesday, and he managed to extract himself from the president-elect's behind for just enough time to conduct an interview for Reform UK-friendly GB News. The Trump sycophant has long claimed that the Republican leader is pro-British, whatever that's supposed to mean. Now, in this interview, he attacked the Labour government by claiming that they sent people to campaign for Kamala Harris, which he knows is untrue. But then he put himself forward as some sort of ambassador. Have a listen to this.
What about this result then for us here in the United Kingdom? In the last 15 minutes or so, we've heard from the Prime Minister congratulating Trump, but also talking about, being the closest of allies and standing shoulder to shoulder. I mean, do you see that being possible given how politically different these two administrations are and some of the language that's been expressed by the Foreign Secretary towards the new president-elect?
No, that's a fair point. I mean, clearly, politically, Keir Starmer and Donald Trump are a long way apart. Things that have been said in the past by David Lammy, the Foreign Secretary, let alone Sadiq Khan, the Mayor of London, are very, very unhelpful. And sending over 100 Labour staffers to campaign for Kamala Harris was diplomatically a very stupid thing for a newly elected Labour government to do.
They did not... Oh my goodness, we have to go over this old territory again. The Labour government did not send people to campaign for Kamala Harris. These people went by their own accord. In the same way that Conservatives travelled to the US to campaign with the Republicans. And vice versa, Republicans and Democrats come to the UK from time to time to see how elections are conducted there. There's nothing wrong with this. There's no diplomatic spat because of this. Now, Donald Trump tried to make hay out of the situation, tried to turn it into a political weapon, probably egged on by the likes of this guy. But this guy is actually in the US now, celebrating Donald Trump's victory when he should be representing his constituents in Clacton.
But, the thing to remember that's important, Trump is instinctively very, very pro-British. This is the most pro-British president we've had for decades. His mum was a Scot and he loved the Queen, and all of those things actually matter.
How did they matter? Donald Trump is pro-Donald Trump. Donald Trump doesn't give a crap about Britain. He's pro-British because his mother was a Scot and he met the Queen and fell in love with her. That makes Donald Trump pro-British. Donald Trump has admired people like Vladimir Putin and Kim Jong-un. Does that mean that he's pro-North Korean and pro-Russian? Well, maybe the latter, certainly. That's for another video. How is Donald Trump pro-British? Does he like Britain? Yes, many countries like Britain. But that doesn't mean that they're pro-British, that they're going to, bend over backwards to help Britain. What planet is this guy living on?
He has expressed to me over the years many times his desire to do a genuine free trade deal with the United Kingdom
Nigel.
that actually would benefit.
Okay, when it comes to a trade deal now, it wasn't possible before because the UK was still a member of the European Union when Donald Trump was last president. So it would have been difficult to have a trade deal. It wasn't happening under the Biden administration. But once again, and I've mentioned this before, it's not Donald Trump that would be doing the trade deal, it would be Congress. And why do these people, Brexiteers in particular, want a trade deal with the US? Look at what happened with Australia and New Zealand, for example. Terrible for British farming. And these are smaller countries than the UK. In regards to population and economy. Can you imagine doing a trade deal with the United States of America? Who would be in a stronger position? Who would be demanding more? How would that be good for Britain? I've mentioned this before. A trade deal with the US would be an absolute disaster. It'd be decimating British farming. The NHS would be handed over. It would be a disaster. Now, some people would benefit, people like this guy. The United States would benefit because they would be in a stronger position.
Both sides of that equation.
One word
that's
for
an
you,
opportunity.
though. Tariffs. I mean, are we going to be exempt from those?
Well, yes.
Donald Trump isn't even in the White House yet. And Nigel Farage, on the day of the election victory, is saying, yes, Britain will be exempt from tariffs that Donald Trump has said that he's going to impose on all imports. He said he's going to put... Now, whether he'll go through with that or not is another story. But Trump has said that he's going to impose massive tariffs on all imports. And Nigel Farage is claiming, we'll be exempt. How can you make that claim? He's not even president yet. He's only president-elect. And you're making it, yeah, we'll be exempt. Why? Because he loves Britain or something?
And that's our opportunity. I mean, don't forget the European Union themselves are putting big tariffs on Chinese cars and batteries and all of those things. No, we have a massive opportunity here. Now, clearly, what the Labour government need to do is to roll out the red carpet, to be welcoming, maybe to be just ever so slightly apologetic.
This is a question I've been asking a lot of people. Why is it that we have to apologize to Donald Trump, but Donald Trump never has to apologize to anyone? You know, Brexiteers like Nigel Farage would say, we need to stand up to Europe. We need to be tough. We need to leave the European Union back in 2016 to stand on our own 2 feet, where, you know, we're a lesser force in the European Union. If we leave, we can be strong again. We can be like an empire. And now he's suggesting that the British government grovel on its belly to Donald Trump. Why is this the case? Why is it that we have to apologize? We have to kowtow to Donald Trump? Why does he never have to apologize? Why does he never have to explain himself? You know, once again, these are the same people who are saying Britain needs to be tough when it comes to France, to be willing to declare war over the Channel. And then as soon as it comes to Donald Trump, we need to roll out the red carpet and apologize, crawl on our bellies, begging for forgiveness. My goodness.
For sending people over to back Kamala Harris during the campaign. There is a fantastic opportunity ahead of us. And all I can say, as somebody who was a personal friend of his, has backed him all the way through his career, you know, if I can help broker a little bit of peace between the two, I'd be very happy to help.
Okay. Nigel, you already have a job. You already have 2 jobs. You want another job, it seems. You know, he told the people of Clacton, vote for me and I'll represent you in the House of Commons. Well, he's not representing them in the House of Commons on Wednesday because he was over in Mar-a-Lago. He also works in GB News, but he seems to spend more time there, or he's more interest in spending time in GB News, probably because it pays more than being an MP. And now he wants another job. He wants to be the de facto ambassador to the US, for the United Kingdom government. He wants Keir Starmer to appoint him into some sort of liaison position. My goodness. You know, Nigel, you already have a job. Go back to Clacton and start taking calls and holding surgeries for your constituents, because that's what your job is. That's what you're paid to do. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.